section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, man. We're gonna get right into the smoke. We did this, and we got some people within the industry that's gonna give their opinion on everything. So smash that like button. We got some treats. Sensei, how you doing, good brother?
Salute, man. What's happening? Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get right to the smoke. Smash the like button. We got the Iceman John Scully in the building. Steve Cunningham. And Anthony Durrell's in the building, man. Clap it up. You already know who these people are. They've been here before. Anthony, it's his first time in the Strong House. Salute to y'all, man. And we're gonna get to it, man. With each passing day, more and more, I'm convinced that my thought process is outdated, and I, as a supporter of the sport, have to adjust with the times because we're backwards. I know what's happening. I'm in a state of shock that it's that we're here, and everything that we've seen in boxing today. This is some glorified WWF nonsense, you know, but if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So we got some brothers on the panel who are knee deep into the industry. They forgot more boxing than I know. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the panel. And let's start with the Iceman, John Scully, man. Salute, John. Well, welcome back, man. Good to see you.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Excellent, excellent, man. And Steve, salute to you. And Anthony, salute to you, man. Let's start with John, man. Your thoughts. First of all, let's start with what happened. Let's start with what happened with AJ and Francis Ngannou. Talk to me, brother. What happened?
You know, for us, that was the best possible result. You know, that's literally what I wanted to happen.
Correct.
You know, I didn't want any idea. I thought, you know, he obviously hung well with Fury, but I thought, my impression, knowing what I know, the way I saw it, I thought Fury took him lightly and realized around the second round, you know, this guy's motivated, this guy's here, and it was too late. You know, he realized he messed up. He wasn't in good shape. I think if they fought again in 6 months, Fury goes in and dominates the fight. But either way, Anthony did what he was supposed to do, and he took him out. And you know, that should put all the nonsense to rest. You know, it's unfortunate though that this guy with no real boxing experience comes in and makes millions and millions and millions
20 million.
That
20.
all these guys are never going to see. These guys who've been boxing since they were in the silver gloves when they were 10 years old, and they're never going to see anything remotely close to what this guy was given. Same thing with Jake Paul, and you know. So I'm not a fan. I mean, I assume you know that already. I'm not a fan of any of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It is disgusting, and the fact that it's put on the pedestal is disgusting. Now let me go to Anthony. Where we was talking before we went live, reiterate to the audience, how long have you been doing this?
Been doing it 29 years. Since I was 9 years old, man. I'm 39 right now, so I retired last year. I'm 39. Been doing it 29 years, and I won't see the money they seen. That's just honest too. And I'm not knocking nobody on how to get their money, but the sport of boxing should be ashamed of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just for supporting it, because that's where they get their money from. They get it from the audience. And if we continue to support it, they're going to continue to do it and have success doing it. So it's not so much the people like Francis, it's not Jake Paul, it's the audience, because they want to see this crap. And and we got to put it on them. Like you can't knock a man for hustling. You can't knock a man from getting the money. If they gonna give it, get it. And that's just the truth. But us as boxing supporters, we gotta stop it. We gotta just let it gotta go cold turkey on it. But somehow they keep pulling us back in, like the Tyson and Jake Paul. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see a 58-year-old going there with, I don't even know how old Jake Paul is.
It's a 30-year age
probably.
gap.
He a 30-year-old. So like nobody wants to see that. I don't. But that's where you draw the line. Like people, like I said, I'm not knocking nobody on how to get some money, because I seen Jake Paul come to the gym when I was in camp before, and I told him straight to his face, don't make a mockery out of this shit, man. Like this is our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? If you come in and making, you know, mockery out of it, it's just a slap in our face, man. But he making millions. The networks and everybody is giving it to him. Like, who do you blame in the situation? You can't really blame Jake Paul. You know, he coming into this thing trying to do it, but he getting too much money. Like, if he was to get the money that I start off with, $5,000 a fight, he wouldn't do it.
True story.
What's the point in doing it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't do it. It ain't no point in getting hit in the head for $5,000. You making millions on YouTube. I don't see it.
It's oh man. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything. I don't know anything no more. Steve, man, your thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, and then I'm on the other side too. Because I mean, we all understand boxing, even football. It shit's coming out now about football being entertainment. You know what I mean? How they fixing games and shit. And then people on TikTok and Instagram pulled out the contract, and it showed on the NFL where it says entertainment. You know what I mean? So like Darrell was saying, and what's up, champ?
Like it is entertainment too, though. That's what I've been telling people. It's entertainment.
It's entertainment. At the end of the day, we're entertainers, and so guys like us, Scully too, all of us who've been in the amateurs, who've been in this pro thing, it's not entertainment to us. It's our livelihood. But to the fans, they want to see somebody get beat up or knocked out. That's it. They come to get drunk. They come to have a good time. Entertainment. So when you take fighters like, let's take a somewhat current fighter. What's the boy name? The Floyd Mayweather wannabe boy.
AB?
Broner. All right, Broner.
Broner.
Yeah. When we take Broner, right? Broner he's a good fighter, or at that time at his peak, I love watching Broner. But he also
I still do.
Right, but he also was a fool outside the ring. You know what I mean? People love that dumb shit.
Entertainment.
They love that entertainment. So now let's move up to Jake Paul. Let's move up to I don't even think I can hang this on Ngannou as much as I can Jake Paul. Jake Paul already had his following. That YouTube shit, it's all about filling the butts in the seats. Yeah. Any promoter will want his 100,000 fans to come fill their show. So they gonna get this dude. I'm telling you, I've been, my son's a pro. He's 2-0 now. I got a 13-year-old, 3-time national champ son, and I'm telling them, fan base is power. Period. You're having fans is power. Look at Arturo Gotti. Arturo Gotti, Atlantic City. He got beat up about 4 times in a row. 4 times in a row, but kept his goddamn HBO deal. Why? Because them Italians in Jersey filled the stadium regardless, because they loved that dude. They loved his heart. They loved what they saw. No matter if he got beat up or not, he filled the stadium. So HBO stuck with him.
But the thing I like about Francis, like, he fought top tier guys.
Right.
Jake Paul is not. Like, if you're gonna say you're gonna do it and you the best at it and you're gonna make a difference, fight somebody that you're gonna make a difference with. Don't fight tomato cans or basketball or football players. Fight a boxer, a real guy.
So that's why I said we can't put Jake Paul and Francis in the same category, because Jake came with a fan base. Jake came with power.
Yeah.
Keeping it real. He came with power. I'm coming with 200,000. I'm coming with 20 million followers. Now, 10% of that gonna pay for boxing. That's crazy. So Ngannou just came with power in his hand. oh, yo, with people talking, oh, Ngannou would knock so-and-so. Oh, so that's the sideshow shit for real.
Yeah.
You know, we want to see it. Now, Fury, we all know Fury did not fucking train for the Ngannou fight. He took him lightly. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I fought on the Jake Paul undercard. When he fought Askren, I fought Frank Mir. I trained 2 weeks for that fight.
And you carried him, bro.
And I carried him. I listen, it was my intention was to go in here and beat the hell out of him, make him quit, because I want to go viral. You know what I mean? But they was like, listen, Cunningham, go light on this dude. You know what I mean? We know you kill this dude any given day. And they was like, we gonna take the rounds down. So I was like, is it the same amount of money? Yo, I made about as much money as I would fighting with a cruiserweight belt, fighting that dude on
Oh my God.
No bullshit. I made 6 figures. That shit was unbelievable.
Come on, bro.
It was unbelievable. So that's
who you fight?
I fought Frank Mir.
And Frank Mir's a legend. He's a serious MMA person. He's serious.
Right. He's serious. And he's a good dude. So what I'm saying is the good part about let's just take Jake Paul, because he's the one who kind of made it so massive pause, you know, and brought it in. He's the sideshow. His fights are the sideshow. But the undercard, you got dudes like, you know, me. You had what's the boy who just fought Haney, just lost to Haney? Prograis. He fought on the undercard. You had real boxers getting paid real money. And then Jake Paul's the main event. So also, lastly, I went in a training camp with Jake Paul in 2021 in Puerto Rico. And I was surprised, you know, when I got in the ring with him. I was like, yo, dude really trying, you know?
Right.
Like,
no, he is. Like, I said the same thing. Like, he trying.
Yeah.
Because he working and he got better. But you got to fight a boxer now. I know you get in it to keep you got to fight boxers now.
Yeah,
if you're really going to do it, let's do it.
Let's do it. And Jarrell, we know he gets beat up by the dude we spar and handle.
Yeah, 100%. You know but you gotta try it.
You gotta try it, bro. I feel you.
And nobody gonna knock you for trying.
Well, at this point, I'm gonna go and salute to Trick Nolte in the building, man, my brother.
Trick.
I'm gonna go to Stormy, because me and Stormy talk about this a lot. And when we had a conversation the other day, he brought up something that Turk Al-Sheikh should be doing if he really wants to contribute to the sport of boxing and make it a wonderful place and more sex appeal to the young up and comers, because everybody wants to run with a football or dunk a basketball. And I don't see a lot of kids wanting to be the next Floyd Mayweather unless they're guaranteed Floyd Mayweather money. So, Stormy, your thoughts on all of this?
Again, salute to the brothers on the panel. This is my first time meeting Mr. Darrell. Appreciate you, man, showing up here with us tonight. I've covered you on my channel and your fights. In fact, before I go into what Drew had to offer there's something that I would like to ask you about, and the date would be 2/27/21. when you took on Tyrone Davis. And we can get back to that, but I just want to put that out there. I want to ask you something about that specific date. But my thoughts, since the Saudis have decided to get involved in this sport and use the live action players as their own video game like subjects, and they have endless money to burn, I would like to see them take a greater interest in the sport in a different way, since they have the money to burn, and give fighters, for the first time in the history of the sport, an opportunity to have a possible pension plan, if not a medical plan, because they can fund it. And the fighters that come and fight over there, they can kind of take some of what is earned there and bring it back to their careers and have something for themselves set up that way, instead of just frivolously paying these exorbitant amounts that really at the end of the day will erode the fact that people have the incentive to do their craft, but also it takes away from others who don't necessarily gain that opportunity. And just as Mr. Durrell said earlier, he 29 years in the sport, and he won't get to make the ends like some of these guys from crossover or the events that are taking place of matches. Don King, if he put on an event, he had championship bouts throughout the card with titleists defending their titles against top contenders. Where is the place for top contenders in the sport who have toiled and earned the right but don't have the opportunity to fight for that right? We know that there are things such as avoidance, aka ducking in the sport and things of that nature, but it still doesn't take away from a man who has earned his right. There are several men in the super middleweight division right now that are examples of that. And then you have one man with a so-called grip on the unified titles that's not even looking at those guys, but someone that's either smaller, that is unfit or unhealthy and things of that nature, and it is getting paid up the wazoo. And then the fans will still accept it. Some will even block or even shield for that because they may be of the same nationality or countrymen or something like that. But you're still shooting yourself in the foot because the sport dies at that moment. When we look at the history of the sport, we remember the participants of the sport being standout individuals because of their accomplishments and the merits and what it really means for a man to put his life on the line, to also prove his wares, earn a living. Some earning the living was secondary. They wanted the fire of the competitiveness that brought something out of them. That's why everybody can't do this. And when you have that respect for that and you honor that, you cater to that, and that's where the heat for this goes. Today, promoters don't even want to do their job. They're telling you, you need to be able to sell some tickets. Well, what the hell do you need a promoter for?
Right. I'm going through that shit right now.
So it's like all of this, again, when we come online and we speak it from a factual place. And people don't like that because they want to shut that up. You see, but the thing about it is we're keeping it real, as they say, because the rest of it is fake.
There you go.
You know, so quite naturally, and this is something that I could get very emotional about because I feel for the fighters and their better and greater interests at all times. Never am I looking at the economics of it, because if anyone should receive the economics of it, it should be the fighter. But not to the degree that it takes away a competitive nature and spirit from the sport, or where it takes away from where it gives opportunity to someone who hasn't earned that. And we're seeing too much of these lines being crossed and blurred at this time. And salute to my brother John Scully, because I didn't want to stop without saying salute to you, John. Good to see you again as well.
Yes, sir.
But those are my thoughts, fellas.
Let me go right back to John real quick, and then I'm gonna go to my brother Trick Notes here in the building. John, since people like trolling, what are the odds of us getting Jake Paul versus Artur Beterbiev, and who wins that fight?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, you know, and for me, I'll be honest, that's my biggest problem with Jake Paul. It goes without saying, like, you get an Olympian, you get Roy Jones. When Roy Jones, he won the gold medal. He won the silver, but he won the gold. Roy Jones came out of the amateurs as a gold medalist. These guys, De La Hoya, all of them, none of them, when they first started, called out the elite fighters of that day. No, but they knew that they knew the respect. It was an unwritten rule. You don't call out these guys, right away. Jake Paul calling out Canelo and Tyson and verbalizing like he's on their level is wrong. Somebody on his team should tell him, stop doing that. Like you're not allowed to do that. And that's my biggest problem with it. I don't like these guys. They're making it like it's a joke. I mean, him being able to fight Canelo is a joke. He shouldn't even be allowed to say these type of things. But the problem is you have so many, and I use the word, like you have idiots. You have so many idiots. And I mean, they're idiots in maybe not in everyday life, but they're idiots in regard to what we're dealing with. And I'll give you an example. When Floyd Mayweather was getting ready to fight Conor McGregor, my brother, who knows nothing, he thought McGregor was going to be too strong for Mayweather. He said he's too strong, he's too heavy, he hits too hard. He thought he was going to knock Mayweather out. I told him, you're the reason this fight is happening. People like you who don't know anything, you're the reason, because they can convince you that this is going to be a good fight. I didn't even watch that fight because I knew what was going to happen. Like, I'm sure Anthony has done the same thing. Steve has done the same thing. We box with guys in the gym who are nowhere near our level, and we play with them, and we box. We keep our hands up, and we walk to them, and we let them wear themselves out. And then when they get tired, we stop them. And that's exactly what Floyd did. People thought it was a good fight, and McGregor did good. I said, he didn't do good. He didn't do anything Floyd didn't let him do. Are you kidding me? And if you know what you're looking at, you understand that. So I don't watch these fights at all. I'm not going to watch Tyson and this guy, Jake Paul. I'm not going to watch it. I don't give them the satisfaction of me. And then you won't have to pay for this, but I would never pay to watch.
I'm a bootlegger.
But even if I could watch it, like I didn't watch McGregor. I've never seen any of McGregor and Mayweather. I refuse to watch it, and because I'm just I'm boxing 100% as a fighter, 100%, and I'm not with any of these sideshow type of things. I don't respect it, and I'm not with it.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. Trig Nolte in the building, man. How you doing, good brother?
Y'all hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Hey, salute to the panel. Iceman, USS Cunningham, Anthony Durrell, Stormy, and Drew, man, salute to the panel. I was listening, listening to what everybody's saying, and I kind of feel this. I kind of think when boxing, to me, kind of started taking a backseat to the UFC is when they put Ronda Rousey on the front of their Ring magazine. I thought that was just a big insult to the sport of boxing. That was horrible. And then there was like another time. I remember when Dana White and Oscar De La Hoya was kind of going back and forth. I think Kovalev had fought Canelo, and they had a UFC bout on at the same time. And I'm like, they fought like 2:00 in the morning. I mean,
it was late, man.
Yeah, like Kovalev, he's over there taking a nap or something. He's like, why is boxing taking a backseat, to the UFC? Yeah. But I mean, it's just a big fiasco, man. And like, I look back at John Scully's career, like I remember you fought back to back in Germany. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what fighter's gonna go fight back to back, in a foreign country? You know what I'm saying? With odds against them, Right. Anthony Durrell's been in there with the tough super middleweights. USS Cunningham, man, you had to go in there and fight in Germany, and it's like you say, Jake Paul's just coming in and just calling out these guys like it's nothing, Right. But at the same time, I'm not going to support it. I know you guys on the panel are not going to support it. It's just like you say, John, you got people like your brother and just like guys I work with, man, they don't watch boxing. They only watch boxing when their fighters win and not nobody else. Right. You know what I mean? So, I'm down here in Houston. Got a big, Canelo's fans, they kind of starting to turn away from him because he won't go in and take the fights that he needs to be fighting.
He need to fight David Benavidez. I thought he said he wasn't fighting no more Mexicans from his country, and he turned around and fight this guy. Like, I'm so lost. But you gotta give accountability to the sanctioning bodies too. Like, it ain't just Canelo. Canelo gonna do what he can do, get away with. Like, if you start stripping him, I know he don't need the belts. But that's what you need to do. Like the WBC need to do something about it. Like Benavidez been the #1 contender forever.
Yep.
And y'all ain't mandatory him for nothing. But Terrence Crawford get out the ring in 2 months, go by, and they stripped him.
Yep.
Like that don't make no sense, man. We got to keep it on both sides, bro.
You know what? Pardon me, but I can't believe I'm getting texts asking me after Jake Paul's done with Mike, is he going to fight Canelo Alvarez? Why am I getting those texts? Why are people asking me this?
Man.
But you know what? I know nothing. Because fuck around, that fight might be a reality. This how crazy
for sure.
You're right.
Oh, for sure.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
And let me chime in right now, because now is the perfect time for what I had alluded to a little earlier. 227-21. Our brother Anthony Durrell took on Kyron Davis, and on the same night, Canelo took on Anvil Yildirim.
Right.
And this is
fighting him.
Listen, hold on. Let me go, because see, I told you I follow you, right? So this is why I'm bringing this up. Ain't nobody thought about this, but I come in here with this on my mind as soon as I chimed in and I saw you were going to be on the show this evening. I got to talk about this. Listen, at that time, for a fighter who just newly picked up that WBC belt that was taken from Benavidez, that was the guy they let him fight. A former sparring partner, a former guy that you fought already.
And beat, like he ain't fought nobody. He ain't fought nobody since he fought me before he fought Canelo. Like, how are you even in the contention?
And the fact that you had the fight with Benavidez, and your fight, basically, you get stopped on the cut and everything.
Right.
And the thing was, you were still a top flight fighter. You guys' times lined up perfectly. You were supposed to be the one fighting Canelo on that night.
That was your fight, Ant.
That was your fight, not Yildirim's fight. That was your fight. And I bet Canelo did everything he could to convince the WBC, I don't want to fight him. Because you were right there. It was like you were the next man up, because Benavidez had got the decision over you with the technical win on the cut and all. It wasn't like he knocked you out or something. And you were right there. Yildirim hadn't done anything, like you said, and he lost to you.
Since I fought him, he ain't fought.
See how they switched the positions around, and then had you fighting on the same night, and then delayed his fight so that your fight took place first, and then he didn't go to the ring until after your fight was over on that night. And if I can remember correctly, I was in touch with Drew at that time. We were newly acquainted at that time. And I was talking about this. I was like, why is he fighting this guy? And he should be fighting Durrell, who's over fighting on the PBC. But at the same time, that's his fight. Drew, would you tell him, was I not saying these things?
You were saying that? We went crazy over that shit. We did. Stormy brought that up. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was also a UFC event that night. I think so.
And that's the one that they delayed even more because the UFC fight, but still they made sure that Canelo went on after Anthony's fight was over.
Anthony, you came on first. Canelo delayed going to the ring because there was a UFC event. After that was done, then they went to the ring. It was a clusterfuck, and we're sitting here screaming like, "Wait a minute, who's Avni Yildirim again?" I was like, "Yo, Anthony beat this dude already." Yeah. I said, wait a minute. He's available. They fighting on the same fucking night. Same night.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Avni made, but whatever he made, if you could have took that or more, because you were worth more, you accomplished more, you beat that guy, and you probably would have gave Canelo more headache than Avni did. And that was his fucking sparring partner.
Yep.
So this is the sport. We've been talking about this shit for a long time, man.
Yeah.
This is
WB
ridiculous.
Man, like I'm finna tell you what Avni did after the fight. He flew down there with WBC, bro. I can almost guarantee you he paid them to keep him at #1 spot, bro. He paid. I'm dead serious. He paid them to keep him at the #1 spot. Like how you just lost and you still #1. It's I'm so lost about that.
Listen, they tried to tell us.
Wow.
They tried to tell us that Anthony Yildirim, that Avni Yildirim was his mandatory, but it wasn't. He requested that goddamn fight.
How was he was mandatory? He never fought. He lost. I was the last person he lost to. He lost.
That's the WBC, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
Green
They
belt.
be on bullshit.
And the night that took place, that took place, and see, you guys as fighters, you're focused on your event of the night. You're focused on your fight, your match, or whatever. So of course, you're not thinking about what is Canelo doing or this or that. But the whole point of it is, it was being broadcast on television, and that's when a person like myself, I'm looking at things and I'm saying, of course, when the fight was made, we're still saying like, oh, he shouldn't be getting this shot. But then when we on the day of, because they have this terrible thing in boxing also where they shoot themselves in the foot all the time, that they have these damn overlapping cards all the time.
Yeah.
You can't even enjoy the sport because you gotta pick what you want to watch.
There's too many promoters in it, man. There's too many. Too many promoters. Like everything. If you look at the NBA, NFL, MLB, they got one commissioner, one.
Yeah.
Not thousands. It's too many. They bumping heads. It's too many.
And they don't care. And they
don't care.
They don't give a damn. No, I got some horror stories like the WBC, right? 2000, about 7, 6. I'm fighting Guillermo Jones for the WBC #1 spot. I'm WBC #3. All right. I'm signed with Don King, of course. I'm WBC #3. Guillermo Jones was #2 or whatever. We're fighting for the #1. I beat Guillermo Jones, which I wasn't expected to. That was one of my first big fights. Week later, I'm WBC #7. You know what I mean? I'm #7, bro. I don't know why.
But that's how I did too. When I lost to Benavidez, I went down to #7 and Avni was #1.
That's crazy.
How does this work?
I don't know.
We could count. Why they fucking talk? Why they treat us like we're stupid?
It's the promoters, man. The promoters pay them dudes, especially the WBC back then. They give them that money.
WBC too. They I don't know. They love who they love, man.
We're seeing it once again right now in real time. David Benavidez has earned the right. He's defeated
100%.
in his past 2 fights.
Right.
He's defeated Demetrius Andrade and Caleb Plant.
Right.
Yeah.
Canelo fought what's this kid from the UK?
Ryder.
John Ryder in Mexico.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
And horrible.
And then instead of getting ready to take on a quality fighter like Benavidez, who's been, by the way, you said a long time, right? 3 years.
It's been
3 years, brother. That's how long it's been for him.
Yeah.
But you still got Christian and Billy, David Morrell. What's the other guy, Drew? There's a third fighter at 168.
William Skull, the other Cuban dude.
But this is the whole point, though. Canelo got 4 belts because it's 4 world titles now. None of those guys are being considered. You know what he says? I want Jamal Charlo. Everybody and their mother know that Jamal Charlo is in no shape to get into the ring to fight.
Right.
At this time, we want the best for that man to get his life together. But he was pushing for that fight. He was like, it's either him or I walk, with his PBC deal. And they're like, listen, some point you got to fight this guy Benavidez because he's a part of this deal. And that's when he walked. And it was like,
but he's still on the card. He fighting my man on PBC. That's
right. But what I'm getting at is this. This is the part that nobody else is looking at. And this is where John comes in. David Benavidez, dad, Jose Benavidez says, well, Canelo don't want to fight my son, so we're going to go up to 175. Now they're talking about fighting Gavaskit, who a few years ago fought a life and death battle against Bitterbeef, John's guy.
Yeah.
And Bitterbeef beat the crap out of Gavaskit. And Gavaskit was a damn good fighter who beat Adonis Stevenson. Okay? So he wasn't no joke. But that's when you knew that if you know boxing, that Artur Bitterbeef was a real bona fide fighter.
Oh yeah, he definitely is.
Let me finish here though, please, because this is very important. David Benavidez is 25 years old. He's finally turned a corner. Even before he fought Durrell, he was still immature and everything, but he's starting to come into the understanding of the sport, the understanding of what his personal dedications are. He's hired a nutritionist so he could stay in shape properly. He wears designer clothes when he comes out to the events. He's got a different mindset, and that gives you confidence in your ability within itself. But his dad is being a dumb man because he's talking about, well, Canelo don't want to fight us, so we're going to just go up to 175. No, fight the guys that are at 168. Allow yourself the time to grow into 175.
But he probably can't make it, man. He a big
He can make it.
He
He can make it. Listen, it takes
he a big
dedication.
dude.
This is the whole point why I'm trying to make this, and I need to finish this while I got you guys here, because you will agree with this. It takes dedication because it is not your time for 175. Those guys at 175 got an order of business to take care of. Gavaskit has just come back after a few years off that he took because of what Bitterbeef did to him. Zerto, who was at 168, tried the same thing. He went from 168 to 175 to take on Bivol, talking about, well, I'm going to avenge Canelo. And what happened? Bivol beat the crap out of him, and he finally just moved on up to cruiserweight because he realized that he didn't have it at 168. He couldn't contend with 175. So he went up to he went up to cruiserweight because there's no life for him at the other divisions with the killers. Now, if Benavidez goes up to 175 and they want to put him in with Gavaskit, first of all, that's a bad move because Gavaskit gonna look at him as food. This kid can get me right back in the game. Okay? And it's not Bitterbeef or Bivol, but it's a name. And he can dine on that. Those men at 175 got business to sort out. And John knows what I'm saying is true here. And when they settle their business, whoever comes on top is on top. And then Benavidez can move up at a later time, maybe a year from now, and then start to fight some guys because he's still not ready for the men who got titles up there. He's not. I don't care how talented he is and everything. We're still talking about a guy who's just turning a curve and learning something. And you can mess him up by throwing him in there with some sharks that he ain't ready to deal with at this time. And this is all caused by Canelo Alvarez because Canelo will not fight the men he's supposed to fight. Do you know that he screwed up 3 weight divisions?
Yeah.
He screwed up 154, where Jermell Charlo could have had a unification against the winner of Spence and Crawford, and that was a great rivalry, a great fight built up between themselves. And then he screwed up middleweight because he's trying to play these games with Maul Charlo, who never really officially moved up to 168. So you're trying to fight a guy. We'll fight Zanabek then. Zanabek is the guy at 160. Okay, but he avoided that. And then at his own weight division, there's about 5 men that they're right there for him to fight, and he won't fight them. So this man is messing up boxing through 3 divisions. And I'm saying these things, and they're valid. They're very true. But the media, they're not talking about it. They're too busy sucking on this Johnson, and they don't want to say these things because they want to remain in his graces and be able to get interviews and sit downs and all of that. That's a bunch of damn foolishness because we opened this show talking about you guys not getting the proper respect. Men who have toiled for their efforts and everything and are getting passed over. And this has got to stop. This is why we try to educate these listeners out here with the real. And these so-called fanboys, they don't know the difference. But we do. And we're trying to uphold the sanctity of the sport and the dignity of the fighters who participate. We got, listen, Mr. Cunningham out here, Mr. Durrell, and now we've been joined by Mr. McCart. You guys are all veterans of this, and you know what I'm telling you is not a lie. It's a fact. And it's time for this charade to stop. It's got to stop, man.
But I'm not gonna lie, bro. Benavidez huge, bro. He coming down from like 230 every time, 230, 240. He a big dude.
Yeah.
Like he huge, man.
And he about my height. He about 6'2.5".
The thing is,
that's why he missed weight so many times, because it's hard for him to make that weight.
the thing is though, everything that we're talking about, everything that Stormy B, man, and salute Bronco McCart in the Strong House, man. We're gonna come to you in a second. So we definitely need your input on the situation. The reason everything that Stormy has said is 100% National Geographic facts.
Yeah.
And the politics and bullshit of boxing has destroyed the sport from the inside out. Sanctioning bodies in cahoots, Mauricio Suleiman and Benton franchise statuses that have since vanished. We don't know where they went. They're gone though, but they stuck around just enough to goof things up. Cunningham and Durrell, they were goofing y'all around with y'all rankings and things of that nature. All of these things that we try and crawl out, but the fanatics of the sport today, these are the kids in the last decade or so that grew up on a steady diet of Ritalin and Prozac, and they have ADD. They have short attention spans, and they don't want to deal with the real, right? And they just say, hey, who the hell is Jake Paul is fighting? He's fighting Mike Tyson. He's still a tough guy, ain't he? The man's 60 fucking years old.
Right.
And they're going to generate millions of dollars. Let's put a UFC guy in there with a former two-time unified champion. And as if we didn't know that was going to happen. I just thought that it would happen in round 6.
Yeah, I gave Joshua 7 or 8 because just enough time to play around with him and then finish him. But yeah,
but on the trained eye, and I'm gonna go to Bronco McCart with this because he just got here. On a trained eye, and I know this for a fact. I know for a fact that AJ has had harder sparring. And Ngannou didn't touch him.
100%.
He didn't touch him. And that way he got knocked out off of a pole counter. What the fuck? Oh my God, it was bad. Bronco McCart, the Strong House. Salute to you, good brother. How you feel?
Hey, good to be here. Thank you. I see a couple guys in there that I know well. Good to see those brothers there too. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think people got caught up in the hype because of how well Ngannou did against Tyson Fury, right?
Right.
And it just Fury looked sloppy in that fight, and Ngannou looked great. And if they wanted to, they could have actually given Ngannou that decision if they wanted to. You know, he was fortunate to remain undefeated after that. But we all know styles make fights, and everybody. I called my dad before the Joshua fight, and I said, "Man, I'm getting ready to watch this fight." And I said, Anthony Joshua, this guy's made for him. He's going to brutalize this guy, and then everybody in boxing is going to think Joshua is back on top, and that's great coming and all that. I said, but it's just a perfect fight to make him look good.
Perfect fight.
Yeah, it was just an absolute perfect setup to make him look good. And coming off of the way that this guy did against Tyson Fury, now everybody thinks, oh man, Joshua's back. He's going to be the king again, but he's not, in my opinion.
I agree 110%. You said it perfect, man. This was fool's gold.
Yeah.
I'm glad AJ, and this is no shot to Ngannou. I like the fact that he came in, he made some money. He ain't got to do a thing else in his life.
Yeah.
Because he's in these two fights, Fury and AJ, he might have sold over 50 million.
Yeah.
Right.
And he don't have to do shit else. But I'm glad that AJ, it was a win for boxing. Because I'm glad that AJ went in there and did what he had to do. It was a glorified sparring session. Okay. But Ngannou's a novice. I saw him do things against Fury, and I said, there's a mistake. And I said after that fight, I said, Fury's out of shape or off the drugs, whatever he was on. And I said, any other top tier guy in the top 10 will knock the shit out of Ngannou. I
They
said
didn't
that.
even have to be in the top 10 to knock him out.
No,
You're
they
right.
don't.
You're right.
Oh.
You're right.
There's some heavyweight amateurs that are putting him to sleep.
Right.
That was all bad. And I know if I could see it, I know y'all saw it. I know you did. He's swinging wide. He was missing Fury and turning his whole body around. Fury's over there. I said, man, if this dude was in shape or on his drugs, whatever he was, he'd have took his head off.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. And I said, watch, he's going to lose his next fight. And I said that. And AJ, it was a good. At round 1, he said, man, this guy ain't going to touch me. And he didn't. Did Ngannou even land a punch? No.
Mm-hmm.
No. And when he got his ass off the ground, the first time I said, man, he's hurt. He's hurt. With that first knockdown, I said, oh, shit. He's hurt. Game over. And
I'm not even going to lie. I didn't even watch that fight. I seen highlights. That was it. I ain't even watch it.
Bro, you ain't missed nothing. What you saw was what you saw. The knockout, that was the whole fight. That was the whole fight.
And you know what was even exposed even more from that? When he got hurt, he had a look on his face like, was that supposed to happen?
That second knockout.
And he never knew what to do after getting hurt.
Right.
You see, professional fighters, even amateur fighters, know what to do when they get hurt.
Right. He
But
went
he
back in
didn't
there and
know
tried to
what
go
to
at
do.
him.
Yeah, he went back in there, and matter of fact, with what I like to call the screen door wide open, huh?
Yeah.
There's a reason that you got a screen door on your house, huh?
Right,
And
right.
for those who ain't heard my content and how I describe things, I use a lot of analogies and metaphors. You got a screen door on your house to keep out the flies, huh? Your grandma used to tell you when you was a little boy running around outside playing with the water hose and everything, boy, don't track all that water in my house and close my damn screen door, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So the flies don't come in and get on her nice cake that she baked in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So when Ngannou got up, first thing he does, opens up the screen door. And he's looking around like, I feel a breeze. And then he felt something on his chin, huh? And that was the end of that. But the thing about it, people were like, whoa, Joshua is back. And they're making these videos and they're having panels like what we got tonight. And they're discussing these things all for the wrong reasons. This is the same guy who took 7 rounds to get rid of Hellenius, huh? But not before Hellenius had busted his face up and everything and put some knots on his head. And he finally got through in the 7th round with a punch on Hellenius. Huh? And the thing about it is Jermaine Franklin went 12 with him, and he didn't do that to Jermaine Franklin, did he? And Jermaine Franklin, who is not highly touted and everything, but he's a professional heavyweight.
That was a hell of a fight with him and Jermaine Franklin, too.
Sure
Of
was.
course it was. Of course it was. And the thing about it is, the only reason Franklin didn't win that fight, as far as I'm concerned, is he's still too heavy.
Yeah.
Remember what I said earlier about Benavidez and being dedicated and being conditioned, because conditioning goes a long way. And we still got the brother Cunningham out here. He could tell y'all a little bit about that because this brother knows. I followed you as well. But the thing is, see, I'm old school. These coaches and trainers of the day, they don't ask nothing of their fighters. If you're really down for your fighter, you want to prepare him mentally first. If the mind be strong, the body has no recourse but to what? Follow the mind. And your body can't follow if the mind is not of conviction and strength. And you get that by getting in shape, denying yourself your loves and delights. Put the damn cake down and the pork chops and all of that. Get in condition.
Hey, it's like
No love handles. We don't need to see it jingling, huh? You ain't at the strip club, huh? We out there, we're trying to compete for something to gain greater ground. And you can't do that with Flab. Did you see Zili Zhang getting out there? Couldn't even throw punches at Joseph Parker, who you could hit if you closed your eyes.
Right.
But he couldn't let his hands go because he was too busy sitting behind the table, letting them go toward his mouth like this instead of they going out like that toward an opponent. I make ridicule, but it's a serious fact. You brothers have been champions. You know that I'm not lying.
You know, one of my old school trainers used to say to me all the time, I've always carried this with me. He said, Bronco, your body's like a tape recorder. Whatever you put in, and on fight night when we press play, that's what's coming out.
Goddamn right. Let me read these real quick. Mr. Shelton, my brother in that super chat, he says it's Uckin time. That's an inside joke, y'all. The OG Mr. Mont says, prime example of the sanctioning body's corruption is Sebastian Fundora fighting for a title directly after he got starched by Brian Mendoza. He got knocked silly, and he's getting a title shot. Go fucking figure. Ridiculous. Young Merv the Cut Man, my brother in that super chat, says, salute, fellas. I remember Bronco McCartney, Knockout Kings video game. I still have that game. Yeah. He was in the game. Yeah. That's what's up, man. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, everything that's being said here, it all the confusion in the business of boxing. These new style of fans don't have the attention span to dissect and actually write letters and emails and say, hey, Mauricio Silly Man. That's what I call him because he's fucking silly.
Yeah, that's silly.
What happened to the franchise status? Yo, I was at the presser for Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. It was in New York. I was there. I was live. And I told my audience, let me go ask Mauricio Silly Man what's up with those franchise status. And I swear to God that motherfucker saw me coming because he ran. He got his ass off the fucking stage.
Right. But why put a franchise tag in boxing, bro? That was just to get some money, bro. You can't tell. All these small titles, WBC Silver, all that shit is just to get some money. But you got to ask yourself, too, what is these sanctioning bodies doing for the fighters when they get the money? Like, you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing for the fighters. You got all this money. We paying all this money, and you ain't doing nothing for the fighters. Nothing.
Man, I don't trust these sanctioning bodies at all. The WBA.
Only reason why they letting Canelo keep them belts because he make a whole bunch, and he got to pay a certain amount back to them. That's it.
But
Nobody else is making what he making.
How many fighters do y'all guys know personally? I'm talking to the pros now. How many fighters do y'all know personally that won a goddamn belt but couldn't afford the sanctioning fee, so they had to give it up? I only know of 2 in my mind.
I don't know. How crazy that is? I've never heard of that.
No, I haven't.
I ain't heard of that either.
Yeah,
I think
because the sanctioning.
Carlos Bogerman won the belt, and he had to vacate it because he couldn't afford the fee. He couldn't afford the fees.
Oh, so all right. He when he beat Zab had a couple belts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all right, I get it.
That's why Floyd don't care about, didn't want to fight for no belt. I want to fight for that shit. But why pay them people all that money for some shit that ain't even real? That's not shit not gonna pay me. If it was real gold, hell yeah, that shit would have been cashed in. I don't give a fuck about that. That don't got nothing to do with me. That shit was real, man. I'm cashing that in.
I'm cashing them shits in. I got about 3 of them here.
Me too, right on the shelf.
I fought. My whole plan was to get the ring title belt, was to get that belt, and I was going to vacate the IBF because the ring belt, you got to fight within the top 10. You don't have no sanctioning fees, and it's the most recognized belt throughout boxing. You know, I had the IBF belt. I go to Germany. I'm defending it against Juan Pablo Hernandez, the Cuban, who has been under the promotion of the Germans for 7 years. But I'm like, I can beat this dude. You know, I'm the best cruiserweight in the world. That's how I felt. I was. So I fight the guy. First round, boom, he knocks me down. Good shot. I get up, weather the storm. We go 6 more rounds. I'm busting his ass. And the 6th round, I come back to the corner and I tell Brother Nazim, I'm saying to myself, I'm gonna stop him next round. That's how weak he was. As soon as I sit down, Brother Nazim says, we gonna stop him this round. So I'm like, good, we on the same page. The fucking German doctor waves the fight off, right? Fight stop, because he's a southpaw. We bumped heads 2 times. The doctor stops the fight and says we got to go to the scores due to the cut that's over his eye, because he could bleed in his eye. It wasn't bleeding at all. Fucking cut wasn't bleeding. It could bleed into his eye. So, of course, he's winning on the cards, which he shouldn't have been. But we're in Germany. So you always got to think they got the 2 judges in the pocket.
Of course.
You know, so he wins my title. So now I'm mad as shit. I'm like, this is bullshit. We filed a protest hearing. The IBF at the time, now this is post Mariam Muhammad, because I have a great story about when she was IBF president. But this is after they basically snaked her out. So now the IBF, we have this hearing, and they award me the immediate rematch because they're like, the fight was unjustly stopped. You know, it was some bullshit. But guess what? He gets the state champion.
Unbelievable, man.
I'm like, what the fuck? I went crazy, bro. So now I got the rematch. I went over there. I'm in training camp. I'm mad. I'm fuming. I can't train. I can't fight angry. That's just me. I have to be comfortable. And we won fight of the IBF fight of the year, but I lost that fight. You know, and he most definitely was on the juice that time. He was dumb stronger. 2 months later, super strong. So it is what it is. But these sanctioning bodies are all about the money. They're all about the connections with these promoters. Johan Pablo Hernandez was filling stadiums over there in Germany. Steve Cunningham, I'm signed by the Germans. I'm just a good fighter. I'm only there because I can fight. You know what I mean? I don't have a fan base. So again, we back to that fan base shit.
This is disgusting. And Steve, you're no stranger to bringing it to the courtroom and trying to get things done by way of pen and paper. You're no stranger to that, man.
That's my second hearing. That was my second protest hearing that I won. And here a shorter story. I had another protest that I should have filed, but I just was like, yo, fuck it. I know they sick of me. But when I fought Tomas Adamic the first time, now we had already suspected Adamic of being on PEDs. We already suspected it. Now, when I enter the arena for the fight, I get pulled to the side by the commission to piss in the cup before the fight. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? They're like, yeah, this is the drug test. But I'm like, it's supposed to be post-fight. Because I'm like, now, if Adamic comes in, pisses in the cup, he can go in, pop a pill. They got that gel shit you can rub on you. They give you extra strength.
Cream in the clear.
All type of stuff, right? Dude was just like, hey, man, this is the rules right now. But I know the IBF rules state if there's no post-fight drug test, you deserving it, you get an immediate rematch. That's how I got my first immediate rematch to win my first world title. Because they didn't give the post-fight drug test because dude was most definitely juicing in Poland. Another Polish guy. I fight the Adamic fight, and this dude knocks me down 3 times in the fight. I'm kicking his ass every round, but he didn't. Boom, I go down. And I go down 3 times within that fight. He wins. One of the judges had me winning, but he won. And I'm just like, wow. So I look him up, and most definitely his old trainer says he takes steroids before every big fight. And the promoters knew. The promoters knew. So I just was like, I just didn't file the protest. I just was like, fuck it. Because that's when I started really hitting that world title scene. And I started seeing, and Chris Bird put me on to the ped use in boxing. He gave me a list. He had the list. He gave me the list and told me about the corruptness. So I'm like, it don't make no sense, man.
Like remember that phone call, Drew? With Chris Bird?
Yeah, that phone call was nasty, bro.
Yeah, that's my guy, bro.
He put us on the game, man.
Yep.
Bronco, let me ask you. You ever been across the ring against somebody and said, nah, this guy's juiced out of his mind?
No. Not that I recall. Nobody ever just stood out to me like that. I don't think I ever experienced it.
Hey, I got a question for Bronco. At 154, I'm gonna give you a name. I think he avoided you, Fernando Vargas. Can you give us a little take on that?
Yeah, I that was a fight I really wanted. And at one point we actually had it signed when I was with the little stint I was with Sugar Ray Leonard. We had that deal signed, and then he was with the Duvas at the time, and I believe I think Dino went into rehab or something. And when he went into rehab, Shelly Finkel stepped up and he killed the fight. He wouldn't take the fight. Dino was on board with the fight, and then when he went away, Shelly Finkel killed that fight. But that was a fight I always wanted. You know, I'm not gonna say I would have went out there and beat him, or would have been, but I know it would have been a great fight. I think in my heart I could have beat him. I think my style was good for his, and but it was just one of those. That's the one fight throughout my whole career that I wished would have taken place.
Oh man, you know, y'all said Shelly Finkel. Well, Shelly Finkel. That's another fight, y'all. That's for the audience. Shelly Finkel killed another fight. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
that shit was going on a lot, man. That shit was going on a lot back then.
Yeah.
A lot. Don King, Shelly, all of them. It was so much shit going on, and they hated each other, but they were all doing the same thing. Everything they blamed on Don, they were all doing it. Main events, Shelly, all of them was doing that crap.
Yeah. Every one of them, yeah.
Don
to
was
backtrack earlier, I jumped on late, but I heard you guys talking about the Canelo Benavidez fight, and I was gonna say something funny about that. Is I was talking to a friend of mine, Mexican guy, loves boxing, loves Benavidez, loves Canelo. He said, well, Canelo said he just doesn't want to fight, you know, another Mexican. I said, that's not what he means.
That's not right.
I said he doesn't want to fight that Mexican.
That right.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's real. That's real. Let me go to the chat real quick. Main Event Mark, my brother, says, love this panel. Salute to all you brothers, man. Salute to you, man. Main Event Mark, my brother. Ottawa M. Salute to you, good brother, man. Salute, man. The OG Mr. Monk back in that super chat. He said, Errol Spence asked that very question at a press conference about where the money was going that Darrell just asked. And all y'all heard was crickets. Exactly. Exactly. When Errol stood there, that was at the presser in New York. I was there. Yeah. Bud versus Errol. He said, yo, where does money going?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. If Bud and Errol don't sit down together and cut through all that red tape themselves, we're still talking about who wins that fight. The fight would never be made. But the bad part is all of that stuff with trying to work shit out, if the guys involved don't want that fight to happen, it don't happen. In the meantime, what did we know? Bud was busy, and Errol was on the couch for a fucking year.
Yeah.
You understand? And that inactivity really did hurt him, amongst other things. You dig what I'm saying? It was all bad. And you mentioned Shelly Finkel at the sidebar. When they were in Brooklyn, that was at the Wilder that was the Wilder Helenius fight. We're walking. I mean, it's not funny because Shelly is fucking like 80-something years old. We was walking down Fulton Avenue or Atlantic, and they were doing construction in the street, and that man bust his ass so bad. And I was like, it was in the middle of the street. I said, oh shit. We ran over there. He got up. He says, no, I'm fine. He put his hand up. His fucking finger looked like a letter Y. I was like, you're not okay. Call an ambulance. Bleeding and shit. I was like, God damn, but you know, he's gangster because he came to the fight with a splint on his finger, man. Salute to Shelly Finkel. that was crazy. It was scary, man. He like, I said, what the fuck? It was crazy. But yeah, it's easy to point the finger, but a lot of these promoters. Well, let me ask y'all this: is it safe to say these fighters don't really need promoters because they're social media now? Do you really need a promoter? Y'all remember what Bob Arum said about Bud? He said the amount of money I lost on Bud, I could have bought a house in Beverly fucking Hills, man. I almost flew to the moon off of that.
What do we mean lost though? People was watching that shit.
Yeah. But
they haters, that's all.
I guess what he meant by that is he ain't making the money he wants to make off of Bud.
That's right. Right. So that's not a fair statement.
Because we ain't no damn fools. That's why.
No, you're right.
Right.
So Steve, you saying you going through that right now?
Yeah. So I got Junior. I got my son Junior. He 2-0. He was a top-rated amateur. You know, damn good fighter. I mean, damn. And I ain't just saying that because I'm his dad. I've seen him break down some serious pros, and it's like we had that Sons of Legends setup that was going on. You know, that was a great deal. You know, it was a great idea. It was a good deal, and they fell apart because of inside fighting. Now I'm trying to move Junior myself. I'm like, I know all these little promoters on my side of town, Philly, Jersey, Pittsburgh, where I'm at, Ohio, and the game is so different than when I was coming up. When I was coming up, I went from no fights to 11-0, under small promoters. I ain't never had to sell a fucking ticket. Never.
I ain't never went out there and sold a ticket in my
Right.
life.
Never had to sell one ticket in my life. And I started at the level of boxing for $100 a round. So I'm fighting 4-rounders I'm fighting 4-rounders making $400 a fight. I'm trying to get an 8-rounder so I can make some good money.
Man, that shit is rough.
So now Junior, I'm the man, me and my wife had managed him, and they're like, yo, you got to sell tickets to pay for the opponent and to pay for Junior's purse. I'm like, what?
Ain't that the fucking promoter's job?
Right.
And you know, I think under the Muhammad Ali Reform Act, I think that's not even legal to sell tickets to pay for your purse.
Wow.
What?
The crazy shit is
though,
now they haven't motherfuckers pay to even get on a fucking card.
To get on the card, yup.
You gotta pay, and you ain't getting no money when you fight.
Yup.
You gotta pay to get on the card and you don't get nothing.
Yup.
But that's bullshit.
Now watch this, y'all. Now watch this. Enter a guy like Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Steve, you whip his ass. Anthony, I ain't even gotta. You smoke him. Bronco, you come off that couch you're sitting on right now and smoke him right now. Now watch this. Jake Paul, what he has done, he throws a card, right? And he gave everybody on the undercard back-end money. And that was the most money they've ever seen. I remember watching the list. He gave everyone like an additional, what was it, like $5,000?
Yeah.
It was something crazy like that. And I said, holy shit. Now you see, it's things like that make people appreciate him more.
But you can do that because you're going to write it off anyway. You make it 20, 30 million.
Right.
Write that shit off.
But that was a good move.
That on the back end.
That was a good move.
But the difference is,
it was a publicity move.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. But didn't he on his last show that got canceled or something refund every ticket? Like the money gave the little
I
money
think he
back.
did.
Yeah, because Serrano couldn't fight in the main event.
Yeah, that whole situation was fishy because they act like she found out that day of the fight.
That day, yeah,
you couldn't fucking fight. That was some bullshit because we get our medicals a week or two before the fucking.
Man, I get it longer than that, bro. My shit be 2-3 weeks before.
Right. So
I don't want to deal with the shit.
I would love to know what's the scam, what the fuck they was doing. You know what I mean? Because
they trying to write off some shit. We lost on this fight, so they gonna get money on the back end.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
You think that was an Uncle Sam move?
And
get
I'm
that
not
return on?
fool, man. Listen. I'm new to this. I'm true to this. I ain't new to it.
Right. Right. So now for guys like my son, what we need a sponsor. You know what I'm saying? I would love, because I mean that's the only way it's going to work right now. Because we're trying to get sponsors. We're trying to get some sponsors.
And that's the fucked up part.
Right.
That we even got to go out there and try to get them bitches.
Right. Exactly.
The NBA, NFL ain't doing that. They got all that shit lined up.
That shit's in-house. So for boxing, we got to now, me and my wife got to go out and try to, I'm on Instagram. I'm hitting up companies. Yo, listen, invest in my son. He going to be a world champ. I guarantee you.
But you can't contradict with the sponsors they got either.
Yeah, exactly. That too.
Now watch this, y'all.
But that's the crazy thing. If y'all got sponsors, where this money going? We doing the work.
Right.
Y'all got Corona all in the ring and all that other shit.
Right.
Why we ain't seeing none of that money?
Right. I'm gonna add to what y'all saying right now. One day I'm sitting at home and I turn on my TV. Gatorade comes on, Gatorade commercial, and I see Damian Lillard working out with Ryan Garcia. And I said, ain't that boxing kid? And this was a few years ago. And I said, he ain't win a title.
Yeah.
And I know his Instagram is popping, but I said, how the fuck did he get a Gatorade deal? He hasn't won a title. I don't even know who he's fought.
Right.
How the fuck did he get a Gatorade deal? Go figure that.
These followers, man. Following, period. This shit, the game is, like you said early on, Drew, is different. We got to evolve to the game now. It's different. And for guys like us, and especially, guys like in Bronco's era, because Bronco's generation and era is one before mine, it's hard. It's harder for them, that era to kind of evolve. And it's still hard for us But if you go, the further you go back, it's harder to evolve to this new shit. It's different. Followers, look at Ryan Garcia. Dude, I guarantee you, he'll never be a world champion. Not because he can't fight, because he don't have to.
He don't
have to.
You don't have to.
Bro,
You ain't pressed about nothing.
Facts. Look at my resume, and I ain't capping or nothing. Look at the motherfuckers I fought back to back to back. Y'all remember last time I got into it with Tank, and I told him, I said, Tank, dudes from my era, the money y'all making, we was trying to get that by fighting the best.
Yeah,
man.
By fighting
my
the
shit
best.
too. Look at my resume.
Right.
Same shit.
Exactly. I'm fighting a killer in South Africa. Then I gotta go to Germany, Poland. Gotta go back to Germany. You know what I'm saying? I gotta fight this killer. Now I gotta fight an undefeated Southpaw Mike Tyson. Then I gotta fight Tyson Fury. Trying to get the Vladimir. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Man,
it's a lot, man. It's a lot,
air
bro.
so much, you was probably on the terrorist watch list. You taking so many points off the world.
No bullshit. One of my homeboys, he gets pulled over every time at the passport joint. Every time. We like, there they go. They grabbing foot. There they go.
Yo, I never thought of that. Yo, Anthony, you got a better resume than Tank. And Tank does less work.
I got a hell of a resume.
Hell yeah.
You looking at it now, ain't you?
Yeah, you got a way better resume.
I got a hell of a resume.
Hey, don't forget about Bronco fighting them fights with Winky Wright.
I fought a lot of top tier opponents, bro. Like dead honest, dead shit. Like
it's a different era. Bronco, you got a better resume than these guys got today.
Yep.
Winky Wright, Alex Bonema. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's crazy.
And this is what I'm saying. All we want is these kids to do what they said they're gonna do. We want you to fight the best. We want you to fight your contemporaries. And it drives me crazy how we're wrong for asking them to do their fucking job.
Yeah, bro. I ain't had to fight Benavidez, bro. I could have fought somebody else, but I wanted to.
Yeah,
like I knew what I can do. I knew what I can, like what type of show I can put on. Like we say, it's entertainment, but I still want that money.
That's the same thing with me and Fury. I ain't had to fight Fury, but because America was looking for a heavyweight that could fight bigger guys because of Vladimir's dominance and mentality. I'm like, yo, let me pick this big dude. I'm the one who picked that fight and got the fight signed. On Twitter. Good, you know, but I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to be great because that's how you get the money.
No, not true.
You did almost knock his ass out too.
And I ain't get the money. It's all
that's how it is, man. It's bad.
It's crazy, bro. So
that's
these dudes
horrible, man.
So you got Ryan Garcia. This dude, what he make with Tank? 10 million?
He made 2.5 up front. The back end money, he ended up with about 29 million.
God,
that's crazy.
All right, so that's crazy. And then who knows what he got on the sponsorship and all that crap. Then what he gets monthly through the followers. Like, bruh, man, you ain't got no need to be a champ. That's why he doing all this bull crap now.
I wouldn't even be fighting, bro. I wasn't doing it for that. What the fuck am I fighting for?
Wait a minute. 2.5. And salute to Joseph Wiggins in that super chat. He said, good panel, Drew. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to you, Joseph. Wait a minute. I don't know shit. You're guaranteed 2.5 and you end up with 29 million?
Yo.
What the fuck is happening?
Yo.
He got a nickel off of every kernel of popcorn sold.
Something. That's a great deal he worked out. I need his peoples.
Yeah. Bro.
I need his peoples for my sons.
Yo, this is amazing. And I don't want to get into all y'all business. I'll just go around and ask y'all. Bronco, have you touched a mill? Like with one fight? Have you ever touched a mill?
Just short.
Just short. Anthony, you?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve, you?
Hell no. Hell no.
And all of you, I'll go down your. I could pick 3 fights. And a guy like Tank Davis is on this pedestal. That's why I tell people I can't really gauge Tank. And I'm not talking bad about him. I said I can't gauge him. They say, why? Look at who the fuck he's fighting. I haven't seen him in the ring with one person that I can say, you know what? This guy might get him.
Right.
I haven't seen it. In his last 5 fights, how many pay-per-views he's been in already? About 5 now, right? 4 or 5?
Yeah.
I picked him to win all of those fights. I've never seen a fight where it's like, Bronco, I seen you in there with Winky Wright. it was a toss-up for me. I was like, I don't know. Anthony, I seen you in a few fights. I'm like, even with Benavidez, I said, I know Benavidez is the favorite, but
He is.
you know what I'm saying? But I said, don't act like Ant can't get him.
Right.
And that's what I don't understand. Like, these people act like I can't fight. I don't understand that. Like, I ain't never shied away from not one person. Whoever they got up put on my doorstep, I'm fighting. Because like we said before, it's entertainment. That ain't my livelihood. My livelihood is here at home with my family upstairs. That's my livelihood.
Right.
That shit is entertainment.
Yeah.
But I still should get paid like an entertainer get paid.
I think we got, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think I got the game fucked up now. It's changed right in front of our face.
That shit's evolved. It's just, this shit is like rap now. This shit is like the rap game now. We from the era of bars and MCs. Now you got this new goofy shit. You don't even know what they saying, but these other kids is grooving to it. Yo, I saw a video with Prodigy. Prodigy was like, man, this shit's changing. We got to evolve to it.
No, he's right.
You know the difference too is going back to an earlier part of this conversation is back in the best era, one of the best eras, the 80s, when you had the Hearns, Leonard, Duran, Benitez,
yes, sir,
Sugar Ray Leonard. They all round robin. They all fought each other, sometimes twice, because they wanted to prove that they were the best. And at one time, when you were the heavyweight champion of the world, you were the most recognized athlete
in the world.
Everybody knew who you were, no matter where, But times have changed. Everybody thinks they got to chase that. Oh, they got to retire undefeated.
Right.
No, in order to be the best, you got to be the best. You know what I'm saying? To be the man, you got to beat the man. And these people, they don't really want to be the man. They want to make the money. They want to have the hype, but they don't care about that legacy. They want to have the money.
Right.
And they want that old to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. And stock markets can crash, banks can collapse, all this. People can lose all their money, but a guy like a Tommy Hearns, a Sugar Ray Leonard, or Roberto Duran, or in basketball, a Michael Jordan, those legacies, Tom Brady, they are cemented forever because of their greatness, and they dared to be great, and they became great. These guys nowadays do not want that. Even these undercard fighters. I'm on the boxing commission for the state of Michigan. I've been on it since 2014. The people who they don't want to fight sometimes is like, man, are you guys kidding me?
Right.
They just fear defeat, and they fear being great.
They fear the challenge, and they don't understand. When you get in there with the challenge, for me, the challenge brings the best out of me. The best. You know what I mean? Straight up, I fight Fury.
People,
the best thing.
I was doing a commentating before, and this guy from here in Michigan, Joey Spencer, was fighting, and I wouldn't even. And I'm like he was doing okay, but I'm like, this is the thing. I like, people fight to their opposition. They gonna fight to their level of opposition. It's just like with any sport. If you fighting a bum, they gonna make you look like what you not.
And that happened, bro.
And I don't understand why. Like, if I go in there and I'm fighting a bum, you got to get the hell up out of here. I'm knocking you out quick. I don't get paid for overtime.
No, you're right, man. You know what
But that shit happened to me though. Like I after this fight, it really hit me. Like, damn, I need to be fighting top opposition, because that's what make the rise come out of me. I didn't start boxing. I started boxing at age 19. So unlike Darrell, and Darrell's more like my kids. My boys started from day one, 7, 8, 9. I started at 19. So for me, it's different. Like, I need that challenge in front of me to make me be like, oh, okay. So I fight. Of course, you guys see me for Amir Mansour, undefeated knockout artist, knocking out everybody. Everybody you see me fight. But then I get in there with Andrew Tabiti, and I'm like, he hit me, boom, and I'm like, oh, this dude ain't the killer. You know what I'm saying? So I hit him with a good right hand, and he started hugging me like I was his long lost girlfriend or some shit. I'm just keeping it real. I've never been held that tight ever in a fight, ever. And he did the pity pat, the run, pat, and I'm still like, what the fuck? When we gonna rumble, beast? I never saw the beast. I saw a little cub, so I didn't turn up, which could be my fault. you know. But I'm just like, I felt no urgency. I felt like I was beating him with what I was doing. I just didn't have the urgency.
You know how what Bronco said. You know, people remember what you did in that ring.
Yeah.
Now I know Bronco's correct. Been to Vegas a few times on big fights.
Yeah.
Each time I went out to Vegas, you know who gets surrounded? Tommy Hearns is out there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
As soon as he walks in the MGM,
Mike Tyson.
a mob runs up. He gets surrounded, bro. He gets surrounded. I saw Evander Holyfield walking through there, and luckily he came through the door. I got a little picture with him, and then he got mobbed.
Yeah.
Then I'm coming in the other direction. I saw Riddick Bowe. He got mobbed. Nobody mobbed Edgar Berlanga. Nobody mobbed Big Baby Anderson.
Right.
And they were on the cards.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Right.
It was the OGs
Yeah.
that they remembered. They were like, yo, oh shit, they go, you know, and they didn't care about anybody else. You know, I even heard Ray Leonard was walking around there. I didn't see him, but I heard wherever the crowd is, it's always the guys from the 90s and the 80s that are mobbed.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about these kids, man, because they ain't doing shit.
Right.
And, you know, Steve, Bronco, Anthony, even your brother, Andre, you guys are like, y'all the last of a dying breed. Y'all cut from a different cloth. That's what I'm saying. We got the game all messed up now because things are
letting anybody in and do our sport.
Listen, the fact that Jake Paul, you know, I know I heard a lot of good things about him in the gym. He takes his gym work seriously, but is he a premier talent? No, he's not. Although he takes it serious, but he's not. You know, even if he goes in there against Mike and Mike just hits him with an uppercut and he don't make the 10 count, what does that mean?
When you talk about boxing now, they gonna bring up Jake Paul. I promise. Every time you talk about boxing, what you think is Jake Paul? Who the fuck cares about Jake fucking Paul? Nobody cares about him. Let's talk about real fighters.
Is he
better not be ranked.
Did they rank him? Because I know when
yeah, they was.
They tried to,
bro. When he fought Tommy Fury, brother.
Right.
That was for the eliminator.
WBC,
for the WBC, bro.
Some shit like that. They was gonna rank him. The WBC.
They was gonna rank him in the top 10 in the WBC.
Yup.
What was Mauricio Sulaiman gonna do? Give him a Black Lives Matter belt? What are those things he makes up?
I don't know.
Fucking idiot.
They probably would. They'd have made the YouTube influencer WBC belt. I guarantee.
Right.
Guarantee.
My God. But he's still around. And he got a Netflix deal. His brother Logan is doing right. I heard he's running around the WWF somewhere. That's what you need to be.
That's what type of shit they need to do.
Yeah. But this shit here,
this shit'll get you. But if something bad happened to him, then who do you blame? The commissioner's gonna say it's out my hands. No, it's in your hands. You sanction that shit.
Listen, Mike 60 or 58, Mike's still in shape. Mike's still gonna kill that boy. I'm telling you.
Man, this shit all scripted though, man.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Darrell. I don't think Mike will be on some scripted shit. I don't think.
Man, for that money, Mike gonna be on some scripted shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. This new Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson sat up there with John Fury, Tyson Fury's dad, and when he talked about some of his fights, he says, "Man, that shit was scripted. That was all Don King." And I said, "Wait a minute." And it made me go back. Well, Mike did fight like 20 times in 2 years in his career. I said, "Oh shit, is he this new Mike Tyson on this marijuana? This is some shit."
Yeah,
I said, well, damn, how much of this shit was scripted, man? And then when you look at his record, when he fought people that fought him back, it didn't end in a knockout or he lost.
Damn.
And I got a question for all y'all though.
What's good?
Your top 5 heavyweights of all time.
Damn.
Oh, this
just
is
give
great.
Me your top. I just need 5.
Just need 5? All right. Well, I already got my 5. I'm gonna go around the panel. I'm gonna go with Stormy first. Yeah. Go with the Sensei first. You go ahead. Top 5.
Okay. Top 5 heavyweights.
In no order.
Just off the top. Yeah, just off the top of my head, I would say Joe Louis, Ali, Larry Holmes,
Yep.
Lennox
Yep.
Lewis,
Yep.
and Evander Holyfield.
That's my 5, actually. That's my that was my 5. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's about my 5 too. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I ain't gonna hold you. That was it.
Yeah.
I had-
that Larry
I had,
Holmes, most definitely.
Larry Holmes too, because that Larry Holmes jab was ridiculous.
And
man.
they don't talk about Larry, bro.
They don't, man.
They don't talk about Larry. Larry had probably the best jab in all the boxing.
Larry Holmes, one of the
He
most
so
disrespected
did.
heavyweights of all time. He was one of them. Larry Holmes, one of the most disrespected heavyweights. I got a cool story about Larry Holmes too.
Yeah.
He was at an event.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
He was at an event in Madison Square Garden, and he came in, and I said, "Oh shit, it's Larry Holmes, right?"
Right.
So I ran up to him. I said, "Hey man, champ, you're my dad's favorite heavyweight of all time." He said, "Well, is he still with us?" I said, "Well, he's not here tonight." He said, "No, is he still alive?" I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Call him." And I called my dad on the phone.
Damn.
And put him on the phone with Larry Holmes. My dad was just waking up. He said, "Hey, what's going on? Everything all right, kid?" I said, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna put you on the phone with somebody." And he said, "Hey, Dad, this is Larry Holmes. This is the champ." And they had like a brief conversation. He gave back the phone.
What's up?
His father was like, he was still kind of like half asleep. So when he called me the next day, he said, "Kid, you was at a boxing event last night?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Did you put me on the phone with Larry Holmes?" I said, "Damn it, yes." Oh my God! He said I was still half asleep talking to Larry Holmes, man. It was funny as hell, man. That was funny as hell.
Crazy.
Bronco, your top 5 heavyweights of all time.
So I, you know what? And I wasn't even thinking of Larry Holmes, but he's on your list. I'm not gonna put him on mine. I'm gonna go with, of course, Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna go with Joe Louis. I'm gonna go with the focused pre-Robin Givens Mike Tyson. I'm gonna go with Lennox Lewis when he was with Emmanuel Stewart. I'm gonna go with that Lennox Lewis. And then man, my 5th one, I think of young George Foreman. I gotta throw him on there.
Yo, facts. See?
Damn, I ain't even think about Joe.
Right, because George, that comeback king, bro.
Yeah.
George, I ain't even think about George.
Sometimes Ali's legend will overshadow a lot of the guys he fought.
I know,
Right.
because he whooped him. And
That
he
was
didn't even
such
whoop
a-
him. He just stopped him. He
He wore him out.
That was a legendary era, man. You got 3 legends that come out of that one era.
By the time he
got
fought
a question
Ali,
for you,
go ahead.
Bronco.
Yeah.
Why put Tyson in there?
Well, because Tyson was one of the a lot of people don't get, he was one of the most just vicious punching, and he was fast. And Mike Tyson was not a lazy heavyweight, man. When he was in shape and focused, he was a in shape, ripped, ready to go heavyweight. And I just feel like a focused Mike Tyson who had that intimidating factor before he got broke really by giving.
He was a knockout artist for sure.
Yeah,
hell of a puncher.
Yeah, when he had all the tools, but then when he lost focus, man, it just completely wrecked him.
Yeah, man. And that was when Customato died. That really, when he died, it was over.
Yep.
You couldn't. Yeah. Mike was done once he was gone. Mike was gone.
It kind of broke his spirit. So I should have said the spirited Mike Tyson before his spirit was broken. I don't think anybody hardly could have messed with him.
No, Customato kept him right in check.
Yeah.
Let me go to my brother Trick Nolte. Your top 5. I know we talked about this a bunch of times.
Yeah, my top 5, man. I'm gonna go Ali. I'm gonna say Holyfield.
Yeah.
Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, and Lennox Lewis. And the only reason why I'm putting Mike Tyson in front of Lennox Lewis is because Lennox Lewis, I think when he lost to Oliver McCall and Manuel Stewart got him, he got better.
Yeah.
And so where Mike Tyson didn't, how can I say this? Even though he lost to Buster Douglas, and he ended up getting with when he was with Kevin Rooney and Customato, he was doing great things. And then when he got with Giacchetti, even though he was good, he wasn't the same Mike Tyson. So I just kind of put Mike Tyson a little bit before Lennox Lewis.
I got a question for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in y'all weight class. Pick any legendary fighter in your weight class. How would you fight him to beat him? So I'm gonna start
Roy
with
Jones.
Roy
Fucked
Jones.
him up.
Okay. How would you prep for Roy
And it
Jones?
would have been
to be a vet?
it would have been a hell of a fight. Like it would have been a tough. Like I'd have been down. Like I'd have been working my ass off. I mean, just look at him. Like it was just a clip, bro, that my brother just sent me, man. And Roy Jones, he threw a jab up top and jab down low. He did it twice, but the third time he hit him with the check hook.
Yeah.
Like you can counter that check hook. I know it's fast, but if you got fast sparring partners, you can counter that check hook because he threw it from down below with a right hand that just.
Yeah.
But that's what Roy was. He was great, man, but he depended on his speed so much, bro, that you couldn't touch him.
Yep.
You couldn't
Roy
touch him.
used
But
to
if you
do
was to
some silly
counter
shit
him,
in there that was like
if you
remarkable.
was to counter him, then it might change something.
That's
But
why
who
that
knows?
Roy Chris Bird fight never happened.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I wanted
yeah.
that. I wanted that, man.
That shit would have been amazing.
I wanted that, man. I wanted that. Yo, Chris is underrated, man. Chris
yo,
is a
He's
technician
way
in there,
underrated.
man.
He ain't had no power, but he can go in there with anybody and make
Anybody.
it. It might look ugly, but he gonna make it look easy.
I was the
Yup.
only guy that picked him to beat David Tua, and I'll be damned he did it.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He
He
did.
outboxed David, man, and that was like some shit, man. I'll
Yo.
never forget that.
Peep this.
Bro.
I got footage.
Bro.
I'm trying to get it on digital, hopefully, but before the end of the spring. But I got footage of me sparring Chris Bird in 2000, right before I turned pro. I was so garbage. This was right before Chris went and fought Vitaly. I went to the camp with him and made like $800. But I was so hyped because I'm sparring with Olympian, Chris Bird. I didn't really know who he was either. And man, he taught me so much, bro. My skill level went up to like this after those sparring sessions.
Man,
That's my bro.
He said his defense was so good because his pops used to have him and his brothers fighting
That
like
small
in
ass
a
ring.
box. Yeah, and it was like
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I sparred him in that ring, bro. Hopefully I get this footage out. I'm gonna most definitely make a reels, bro. Y'all gonna see.
Oh
it.
yeah, please, I'd love to see that.
That ring was
Bronco.
small, bro.
Well, hey, real quick, Steve. I
you
I
got
came
it.
up under James Coney, so I got to spar him almost on a weekly basis. So I learned.
Oh
a lot.
wow.
Yes.
But like I've been asked before, like who in legendary who would I wanted to fight, and I always tell people I wouldn't have wanted to fight Sugar Ray Robinson. I wouldn't have wanted to fight Tommy Hearns. I wouldn't have wanted to really fight if I had it. Really, the person that I really wanted to fight, and I wouldn't necessarily consider him legendary, I guess, but the person that I really wanted to fight goes back to our earlier thing was Fernando Vargas.
Yeah.
As far as legendary junior middleweights in my era, actually,
Right.
Wright makes that list, and I fought him 3 times, but I didn't want to play. I wouldn't, in my heart of hearts, man. I'm a realist. I know I could fight, and I was a dog and all that, but I didn't want to play. I wouldn't want to play around with Tommy Hearns or.
But that's the thing. That's why I probably would have wanted to fight Roy because I would have wanted to challenge myself. That's the only reason why.
The
That's
challenge.
the only reason why. Roy was a fucking animal, man. When he got knocked out, I was pissed.
Yeah, I was just with Tommy last night actually, and
yeah, that fight was going on down there, huh?
Yeah. And so sometimes we're at dinner, and one night I said to him, I said, Tommy, I got to tell you something, bro. I said, I'm so glad I didn't come up in your era. I said, I would have probably cracked the top 10, but I said, I don't think I would have been able to snatch one of the belts from any of you boys. And he said, oh, you did all right. I said, yeah, how did all right?
Man.
Well, one of the things, since you guys are talking about Tommy, is this. Tommy was such a great boxer, man.
Yeah.
And, of course, he had the eraser in that right hand. Mm-hmm. But if he came to box, and this is anybody of his era, if he came to box, you're not beating him.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not. Right. And that includes Hagler.
Yep.
That includes Leonard. We saw what he did to Benitez.
Yep.
I mean, and Benitez, El Radar, who was like as elusive and much of the Matrix before people knew what a Matrix was.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy could box, man, but the thing on top was he could get you out of there.
Yeah.
and he was forced to fight Marvin in a situation where, you know, Marvin jumped on him and he fought back and this and that. However, Marvin knew, I can't let this guy box and get into a rhythm and everything, because not only is he going to be winning the rounds, but if he gets fluid and in the ring in the rhythm, eventually he going to drop that right hand on me.
Yep.
And that was the difference right there. But my goodness, could that man box? He is every bit as underrated as Larry Holmes is considered for his career. Tommy is underrated for his career. And it's a different type of being underrated. It's because of the men that were around him. You know, but he was still, oh my goodness. I did a special you know, most underrated fighters on my channel and talked about him amongst a couple of the other fighters. And I've always just admired what he was able to do in the ring. And then to take that little bitty frame on up to light heavyweight.
Yeah. Tommy was an anomaly, man. Because I saw, you know what I saw? And this right here on YouTube. He did like a light sparring with Muhammad Ali, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. A little skinny dude, man. But if he landed that right hand, it's like, where the hell did that come from?
All right.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff, man. Tommy was different, man. Tommy was different. I wish he had Paul Williams' chin, though. Because if he had Paul Williams' chin, a lot of stuff that he got touched with wouldn't have, you know. And that Iran Barkley, you know, shout out to the Bronx. That's my borough. But I ain't see that coming. I remember watching that when he lost to Iran Barkley. I said, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, you got caught.
But let me paint a different picture of that, though. A lot of fighters have different gifts, and when you talk about their gifts, he may not have had the iron chin of a guy like Hagler or Julio Cesar Chavez or something like that. But did many people have the heart that he had?
Correct.
And some of the very same individuals you may mention, they may not have had that. That's what made Tommy great.
Yep.
He would take a chance. He would take risk. Are we not asking that of some fighters of today?
Yep.
Hey, every made up superhero has some chink in their armor. Not one.
Right. Yeah.
Every Superman has their kryptonite. You know.
That's right. You're right.
You can't be perfect, and I'm not saying Tommy didn't have a bad chin by no means, because the punches he got stopped with probably would have stopped most people that got hit clean, like that wild shot by Barkley and you know. But if he had a granite chin and be able to fight and punch and box like he could, it would have been unfair.
And he took risks.
It'd have been a cheat code.
He took risks in fight. You know, he took risks in fights that some fighters wouldn't take. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, let me give this example. My favorite fighter was Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
And when you were asking the guys, Drew, by the way, did Cunningham, did you give your list of heavyweights?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we want to hear that, because I thought you didn't, but I just wanted to say this about Evander real quick. When you threw the question out there about how would the guys fight their favorite fighter, you know, in their weight or whatever. When I was thinking of Evander like that, you know why people had trouble trying to beat that guy? And we know once he got a certain age, he started losing to some of the younger guys and stuff like that. Stayed in the ring too long. But when he was good, when he was at his best, guys had problems with him because they were trying to knock him out.
Yep.
They always went into the fight with, like, Steve is like, oh, he's just a cruiserweight fighting at a heavyweight. I should be able to take him.
Right.
But that was the worst part for them, because he has so much
surprise
that was off the chart, that his level of machismo was more than most of the average guys that were big.
Yeah.
Because big guys don't typically have that, because they big guys. You know what I mean? It's like, I throw my weight around. I'm the man. I weigh this amount and I could bench press this. Evander was a guy of tremendous character at that time. And the best way to beat him was to box him. Box him. Don't get into a fight with him. Win round by round by round, outpoint him. Because if you get into a fight, you're going to bring something to the element of that's like not what you want. And that's what I wanted to say about that as far as, fighting a guy in your weight class or whatever. But that's what it was with him. But we need to hear
Holyfield weighed 220, his heart weighed 190.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Steve, your top 5 heavyweights.
Top 5: Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, and Lennox Lewis.
Ooh, you went Jack Johnson,
darn
man.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good list there, bro.
Jack had to be a monster in that era. Just that era alone, that being a black dude, oh man.
You know how mentally tough he had to be?
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Man,
Hey.
you had to fight
You go ahead, Trick.
and beat your opponent.
Anthony Durrell hopped off the panel, but I want to give you two guys, man. I want to put y'all in 2 fights. First fight is gonna be with you, Bronco. You in the Yoruba Conference at 154, and Steve Cunningham, you at 1, Carlos Gomez at cruiserweight.
Damn.
I honestly think I could outbox Joy Boy Campos and cut him up. I don't doubt that one bit. He was a great puncher. I would have loved to have that fight too, because that would have been just a great bang him out kind of fight. In my heart of hearts, I'm a realist. In my heart of hearts, I definitely don't, without a doubt, my heart would have beat Joy Boy Campos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think being a southpaw would factor in a lot too.
Yeah.
You could take advantage of, because he was one of those guys that would leave the screen door open.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He'll take 2 or 3 to get off 1.
Yep.
But that one your man could lights out.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, what I would do with Gomez is I'd switch it up on him. I'd most definitely box him first, stay long, use my legs, move it, and then in them later rounds, 6, 7, 8, start rumbling him. Because I knew my condition is top tier. That's the way I would fight him.
Yeah, the guy was underrated. And nobody talked about him during his career, man. And,
it's crazy.
He didn't get recognized later until he fought Vitaly Klitschko later on down the line. That's when he went to heavyweight. When he's a cruiserweight,
he was a monster.
He was a monster. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Real quick, Bronco. What was the worst thing what was the one thing about training that you hated?
Shadow boxing.
Why so?
Shadow boxing. It was the mentally toughest task for me to do. I did it every day.
Yeah.
And I shadow boxed like I was fighting. I didn't just go through the motions. I was shadow boxed like I was literally fighting, because like I said, your body's like the tape recorder. What you press play, that's what's coming out in fight night shows. But I just hated shadow boxing. It was just so boring to me, and just mentally like, but that was the first thing I did in the gym, or the second thing I did in the gym every day was shadow box.
Upon reflection, how important is it?
Extremely. It's extremely important. I mean, you get in front of a mirror and you're watching things, and your trainer should be watching things too as you're doing them too. But you're working on things, and sometimes you're literally fighting your shadow. You know what I mean? You make sure your hands are up, you're slipping shots, all those kind of things. Shadow boxing is extremely important.
With you two champs on here with us, I'd like to pose a question to you two guys as well. Have you noticed that a lot of the fighters presently, it doesn't matter what weight class, these guys are coming to the ring bone dry, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not warming up. You guys from your eras, I remember seeing them coming through with a frothing sweat. Even if you had robed up to leave the dressing room and come out, you still had some perspiration on you. These guys of today are coming out there bone dry, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. It's funny you say that though, because I was at fights last night, and I literally noticed that almost every fight.
Wow.
They were just dry. We always tried to have a little lather. A light coat of Abilene, on your body, and shadow box and move for about 10 minutes or whatever, 20 minutes, however long it took you to get a real good sweat and your muscles loose. But I always like to enter the ring sweaty and ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, on that televised level is a lot of hurry up and wait. All right, you about to go on, wait. All right, you about to go on. You know what I mean? So I know that happened to us more than a few times. You know, when I was main event, co-main event. So it's like you stop warming up and then you cool down. So it ain't necessarily the boxing team's fault. It'd be the broadcast. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got to go on at this time. We got to go on the air at this time. Now, go to those low-level fights where there ain't no TV. And then, you know, now I'm going to pay attention now. You know, now I'm going to pay some real attention.
What was the worst? What was the thing that is there anything that, like, in training that you didn't like? It's like, man, if I could skip this, but I need it, it's important. Is there anything in like when you train that you didn't like?
For me, nah. And I thought about this last week too, because I'm gonna do a video about it for my YouTube channel. But I love training camp. I love it. Like I'm weird like that. I love waking up, running, pushing myself. I love, man, I want to do 8 miles today. I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? I just love breaking my body because I know the buildup makes me stronger. I just always wanted to get better and better and better. So I'm shadow boxing with weights. I got a weight suit on. I got ankle weights on my wrist, hitting the bag. I got a weight suit, you know, for my boys.
That's
training,
dope.
I love training because it got me better. I didn't start out the skillful Cunningham. I started out with just heart, no bull crap. And then but I'm watching Oscar De La Hoya, Evander, Mike. I'm watching these dudes go 12 rounds and they not even breathing heavy. And I'm like, how the hell do I get like that? You know what I mean? And
that's important.
You know, so I killed myself and I love training more than I do to fight, actually.
I hear you, man.
I got training more than I did to fight.
This is my last question because I got y'all pros on here. I wish Scully and Darrell ain't fall off, but this is for the young. This is the answer to the question for the young cats. Does sex during your camp fuck up your camp?
It's, man, here we go. So we had me and my dad just literally had this conversation the other day, and I told him, I said, I remember the time a reporter went around the gym and was asking that question, and I was jumping rope, and my dad was standing there with the timer, and I thought, man, I hope this reporter doesn't come talk to me with my dad standing here. So when the reporter comes over and says, same kind of question, and I said, not me. Not me.
Right.
I said, doesn't bother me. I said, I said, I think it depends on the level, for me, the level of fight, you know, what you have going on and all that kind of stuff. But I said that I don't really have like a cutoff period. I just do what I feel I'm going to do as the fight gets closer. My dad didn't like that answer. I'll never forget that.
Nah.
So it's more myth. It's more myth than.
Here was my thing on it. When I was fighting, I was training 3 times for fights, like in an 8-10 week period. I would train 3 times a day, 4 days a week, 1 time, twice a week, and take Sundays off. I said, you're telling me I can train like that, spar like that, run like that, do all this 3 times a day, and one little sexual experience is going to weaken my legs and make me not be able to fight? I said, it makes no sense to a guy like me.
Well, of course it wouldn't, because once you do that, all the blood from your brain rushes out to the other part. See, that's why you have that.
I'm temporarily insane then at that moment, right?
Right.
So what about you?
So for me, like I told you guys, I started boxing at 19. So I didn't grow up hearing all of those old wives' tales, I'll say, call it. But I do remember finally hearing, yo, you ain't supposed to have sex before you fight. This is like into my 8th amateur fight. Now I'm knocking dudes out, pop, pop, and I'm having sex day of the fight. I'm not playing. And and I'm going in and knocking dudes out. Now that they've told me this, it affected me. It's a worry. It's all in the brain. Now, it's all in the brain. So now as a professional, of course, you know, me and my wife, I'm married. We had a cutoff. We had a 4-week cutoff, which over the years went down to 2 weeks. which even in them 2 weeks, if I was slick enough with my tongue, I could talk her. I could talk her into something.
I'm glad
Literally and
I'm glad
physically.
you kept it at that.
You know what I mean? So my wife did try to stick to it. No, we shouldn't. No. But then she got to a point where she was like, boom. So we had a 2-week cutoff by the end. Now, if you guys remember, Chris Bird and his wife, it was a show.
I know the show.
They did a test.
And it was with it was Chris and his cousin.
No, it was Chris and his wife. I don't know who. Yeah, it was Chris and his wife. They took.
There was 2 couples on there.
It was. I don't remember.
It was Brewster. It was named Brewster.
Oh, yeah. You're right. See, I'm slipping. So they did. They took all of the scales and punch power before the night, and then they went and had sex, and he came back and did better. So me knowing Chris Bird personally, that's like my brother. Like they named my daughter. That's how tight we are. I know they had sex the night of the fight. I know that. I know that for a fact. So it depends, man. If you let it get to, it's the brain is so powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the most powerful thing in this world. If we let it get to us, it's gonna affect you.
Yeah.
You said they were punching harder the next day on that.
They said his numbers was up. You know what I mean? No, that's pretty crazy.
That is awesome, man.
Yeah.
That was I forgot the name of that show, but I remember watching that.
It's on YouTube, man. I'm gonna see if I can find it, man. But,
man, that is funny, man.
But it's an old school thing from the old school.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I
it
mean?
is. Yeah.
And a lot of stuff's from the old school that's not right, but people still do it.
Well, just like old school, we eat steak and eggs. Gotta have steak and eggs for breakfast day of the fight. And now we realize you having good carbs and you
right.
You know, things have changed and evolved throughout the years.
Right, and that's the same thing, like you said, Bronco. After I done worked 5-6 weeks lifting weights, running, sparring, you think one steak gonna stop? Gonna take me? You know what I mean? Like, hey, bro, it's whatever you allow to mess with you.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna grind it to a halt, man.
All right,
I
fellas.
really appreciate you guys, man. I really appreciate you guys. And the next, I don't know, man. The next big event, which I don't know what it is. I gotta have you guys back. Yeah, Mike Tyson and Jake. Oh my God.
Well, Tank and Ryan. Was it Ryan and
Devin. I mean, I wish Tank and
Ryan.
Devin. Devin and Ryan.
Devin
and Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, real quick, before I let you go, how y'all see that going, Bronco? How you see that going?
Oh, I'm gonna take Devin Haney, no doubt about it.
Same.
Yeah.
I got it. A run. He's gonna run over Garcia, man.
I think so too.
Garcia got too much money, man. He ain't worrying about
too much money in his mind's other places.
Right.
Yeah, this is awful.
Remember that quote? I think it was Hearns said it, or no, Hagler. One of them said it. It's hard to get out of bed when you're sleeping on a silk sheet.
Marvin Hagler, yeah.
Hagler, all right.
I mean, I tell everyone that the kid was guaranteed 2.5, walked away with damn near $30 million.
That's crazy, bro. That's just like Ngannou. Ngannou made $30 million in what, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. I wouldn't fight no more.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, unless I'll probably do one more. All right, boom, I'm good. I done made $50 million. Messing with them Saudis, yeah, you make another $20 million. Fight Wilder, fight somebody else. All right, cool. I'm done. You won't see me hitting or getting hit no more. Nope. I'm gonna do some real estate investment. I'm good.
Yeah, that's it. You just chase the
one thing he doesn't realize too is this: what happened in the Joshua fight is more likely to happen every time he faces another heavyweight.
Yeah, because I mean, listen, keeping it 1,000, we all know he's an amateur.
Yeah,
he's an amateur.
Yeah.
You see, when Joshua loaded that right hand up, there was no defense.
Nope.
None. He just went. He went like.
He flinched. He flinched. He didn't defense. He flinched.
And got man, everybody. So if I was to fight Ngannou, boop boop boop, I'm launching.
Yeah. He was biting off. There was no. He was. AJ wasn't even throwing feints.
Nope.
He was just stepping and he was flinching. I said, "This ain't good. This ain't gonna end well." And
do y'all remember the right hand that Lennox Lewis landed on Razor Ruddock just moments before the close of the first round of their fight?
Yeah.
Man, he hit Ruddock so hard, Ruddock's legs did a shift, like
dancing,
you know, and he went down.
Razor was
And
good.
at that moment, he was just lucky that the bell rang during the count. But of course, Lennox took him out in the second round. But that was a heck of a right hand, and the way that Lennox punched, especially that downward trajectory, that punch was on the cover of KO magazine.
I remember that.
And I had him sign that for me when they were in Chicago for his promotion for his fight with Michael Grant. I brought that magazine with me, and I was like, he looked at the cover and smiled.
Oh gosh, that was bad. That was all bad. When you falling, I got the picture right here. When you're falling and your leg looked like that, he was asleep before he hit the floor. He was asleep.
Yeah, he was asleep. Look at him. He counting them Z's right there.
Yep. And he woke up, $30 million in his bank account.
The floor, the canvas woke him up.
And he was bone dry. And he was bone dry. Y'all saw how bad he was?
Yeah. Who's that dude that trains him? Because I'm like, bro, I want to make a video.
Dewey Cooper. Dewey Cooper.
Ain't he a kickboxing dude or something?
Yeah, he had a little boxing career too, but mostly kickboxing.
He's talking on. I'm like, bro, you even believe this? You believe your own bullshit, bro? Like,
and see, that's another thing. You two brothers, Steve and Bronco, please, before we go, give us your thoughts on it. It's like, because you got some trainers out there, they dabble in the MMA and stuff like that, and you got certain fighters too that are martial artists. Like, and I'm not calling him out, but I have a lot of disagreements with his philosophy. Michael Jai White, who's a hell of a martial artist.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm
He
sorry.
gotta show me some footage.
I don't care. I don't care how many martial arts he's mastered and how many people he's sparred with in the gym or whatever. But his philosophies on boxing is not of the ilk of someone who knows boxing.
Right.
I'm sorry, but it's like they're two different things. I
need to hear this sparring story between him and Layman Brewster from Blaming. You know what I mean? Because he keep talking about, ask Layman Brewster. I did this to Layman Brewster. Like, bro, when? Because I know Layman a little hurt up, his eye,
He got one fucking eye.
Right. So when? And
not only that, because if Layman is a friend of his, Layman might have taken it easy on him.
Right. There's nobody
I can
I'm
arrange
gonna go in
that.
there like that with. I ain't gonna go heavy with no movie dude, no karate dude. I with all of this MMA dudes is fighting boxers crap. How come he ain't never been up there to fight somebody? Cause bull cap, man, he cap.
Because it's different. It's different when it's for real.
He capping, right?
You know what I mean?
That's capping.
Like him talking the way he talks is no different than the average guy sitting home watching LeBron James miss a shot and say, "Oh man, I'd have made that shot if I was." It's a lot easier to say than to do.
That's him.
So your overall assessment of the trainers today, are you seeing anything groundbreaking, or has it gotten habitually worse?
See, a lot of these guys, there's not a lot of teachers out there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that are going into the gym and catching pads and doing this, but there's not a lot of teachers. I know he talks about his old Nassim and his old trainer. Man, I came up under Bill Pops Miller.
Right.
I was around Emmanuel Stewart. My dad's always been in my career. I was around Keith Lee. I was around Floyd Lowe. All these old school trainers, man, and they were teachers. They were showing you the little
stuff
that they don't teach now. And I go in the gym. Sometimes I go in the gym and I watch and I'm thinking, man, they are not showing these kids nothing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Bro,
wow.
I was just talking about this 3 days ago with somebody at the gym. And I was telling them, I'm from Philly. I'm out here in Pittsburgh right now. Pittsburgh boxing is a shit show. It's a shit show, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. But so we got a couple guys out here who got a lot of followers because they're learning this crap off of YouTube.
Right.
And they're going back to the gym. All right, let's do this. And they videotaping it. Bro, you don't know the inner workings of what that is. So I was trained by Giacchetti. Then from Giacchetti, I went to Nazim. Old school dudes. You know, even though Richie had his mess with him, he's an old school trainer.
Yeah.
Nazim told me, he's like, listen, because everybody gives him props and everybody be like, yo, Nas so humble. Because when you tell him, yo, you one of the best, and he'll just be like, nah, man, nah. And they'll be like, oh, he's so humble. Nazim look at it like this. He said, listen, everything I learned, I got it from Bowie Fisher.
Wow.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He got it from Bowie. He's like, man, I stayed up under Bowie. I was in the gym, stayed up under him. So I'm telling my homie, like, yo, bro, we don't have that anymore. We don't have them old school teachers where you can, in Philly, you can go sit down in the gym and just watch and learn. Watch and learn. They'll let you sit down in there as long as you shut up and you ain't saying nothing. Nobody fighting. You can learn, sit there and learn. Now you don't have that, and you got YouTube. So you got all these dickheads going to YouTube. Hey, they got, man, listen, bro.
I've often said, if I see another guy grab some damn focus mitts, go out there and say, "Come on, let's go." Listen, that's my brothers Drew and Trick Nolte. They will tell you that's my pet peeve, man. Leave them damn focus mitts alone.
Leave it alone.
There is more to be learned from the sport of boxing than that. That's very minimal. Very minimal.
Focus
And the
mitts.
thing is, listen, have you guys noticed how most of the fighters who fight today do the Van Damme split while they're in the middle of the ring? It's like their legs are way spread apart from their shoulder length and all of that. Their chin is over their knee and all the little subtleties, like you just said. It's like these guys don't understand. They've never had their ankles tied together where their feet don't go spread apart from the shoulder. It's so that you can move and keep your balance and things of that nature. And be in a position to use leverage on your shots. Because how many fighters have you seen win a fight with a 6-inch punch as of late?
Right.
You haven't. And those are the most devastating and destructive punches when you learn how to throw the short shots.
Yeah.
But there's technique that's involved in that. There's a certain amount of teaching that goes, because you have to learn how the body torques and twists, and you generate strength and power and become explosive from having a great center of gravity.
Right.
You know? And these are the kind of things that are not being taught. And I watch it, and these guys will tell you, I talk about it every week, man. When I see, like a card, like we had this Friday night card and everything. And that's why you heard me ridicule Ngannou leaving the screen door open, because man, he could have closed his eyes and hit him with what he hit him with.
Target mitts is more of target mitts is a basic cardio workout. It's something that, in no disrespect, girls do when they come and do their Taibo, their kickboxing or whatever. It's made to look good. If you want to post something on social media, it's just to work up a sweat. There's no real value that I've seen in it. It's rehearsed movement sometimes, but it doesn't really do shit to me, in my opinion. As far as it's interesting what Stormy said, legs being spread too far apart. I've seen guys in the gym with their legs spread too far apart, and they get hit with a jab, and they'll fall. They'll literally do a split. I've seen a guy roll his ankle. Got hit with a jab because he's off balance. I mean, this is just basic stuff. And you see these guys in the ring, you kind of can, you can see that the teachings is just not there.
No, I asked this young kid, I asked this young guy, when I say young, I mean young professional, not necessarily age-wise, but, he's about 15, 16 fights in. And I asked him, because I watched all of his fights. And I said to him one day, I said, a couple things. I said, when you're in there, I said, are you thinking, or are you just fighting? Because there's a difference. Anybody can fight, but not everybody can think, right? I said, because there's two basic things that you really have to learn if you want to go on to that next professional level. I said, one, you got to learn how to set a guy up. And two, you have to learn when you're being set up.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing either one of those things from you. And I'm trying to explain to him what I meant by that, and then it's like, fighting's the easy part. It's learning how to box and be a boxer and a thinker. That's where it's difficult.
So if you guys go on my gym page, USS Fight Academy on Instagram, I got this new kid, the new white kid. He's my trainer. He's my other trainer's son. He's just starting. So I use the mitts with him, and it's for specific reasons. You know what I mean? Those mitts, I only use them for specific times. I don't do mitts all the time. I don't do all that.
Nah.
Yo, I told my dudes, y'all want that? Then you got to go somewhere else. I don't do that. There's nobody, not even Floyd, who does that crap, who started it, they don't get in the ring and do it ever.
Right.
It's not practical. It's just the cardio workout.
That's all it is.
And I can give you a better cardio workout on the mitts. We're finding your mistakes.
Yes.
You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? So
Yep.
that's what that's for. That's what we use it for. But you go look at that video. I think it's probably like 4 videos down. The way I work with him, it ain't all that goofy stuff. It's about perfecting and making him right. That's
Right.
what that's for.
Precision.
Punching with power, precision,
Right.
and
Now-
leverage and things like that, and also turning the punches over correctly.
Facts.
It's like because you have to get into a habit of
Exactly.
throwing the punches correctly. That's
Yes.
just like these guys. They hurt themselves in the gym hitting the heavy bag because they
Yeah.
haven't been taught
Yeah.
how to punch
Yeah.
the correct way. And,
Yeah.
and these are the things they're not being taught anymore. Like you said, being a lineage of Nazim and Bowie Fisher and guys like that, to be able to take that information,
Yeah.
there's a history of lineage of that. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
Do you know one of the things that I don't like about Freddie Roach? He never mentions Eddie Futch. And he learned a whole hell of a lot from Eddie Futch,
Right.
but never pays homage to Eddie Futch.
Right.
You know, and see, I don't like that because basically what you're saying is you got this knowledge and education and things of that nature, but now it's like there's a cutoff point. He's no longer around physically and everything, but at the same time, you can't even pass it on to these newer generations to let them know it's like this man was a sage. Do you guys know? And I pointed this out on this show a long time ago. Every loss that Ali had came to an Eddie Futch trained fighter.
Damn.
Yeah, I would have never. I didn't know that.
A lot of people, and when I first brought that out into light, you know, Drew was like, "Dad, you know what? I didn't
Right.
thought about that." But yeah, you had Frazier, you had Spinks, you had Holmes, and Ken Norton.
Wow.
Yep.
Trevor
Right.
Burbick doesn't, you know, the Trevor Burbick thing is like Ali was too old. He shouldn't have been fighting.
Yeah,
But Frazier, Holmes, Spinks, Norton.
That's crazy.
That's an
You know-
interesting.
And they all had different styles.
Yeah.
They all had different styles. And that's where you know how great a coach he was.
You see, that's
Because none of those men fought the same way.
now you see that's why I got love for Eddie Futch, and that's why I looked at Coach Cal over there with Tank, where I cringed when he said that when he said what he said about Shakur. I'm like,
What did he say?
well, he said that why would we want that fight if Shakur's not gonna stand there and let us do what we do? Why would we want that fight?
Wow.
I said, what the fuck? Why would you say that? That told me 2 things. Number 1, you have no faith in your coaching ability.
Right.
Number 2, you have no faith in your product. Even if you have a game plan, you're saying that Tank can't perform and do what you need him to do to defeat
Wow.
Shakur.
That's some crazy crap.
And I couldn't believe it. He said it, bro. He said,
That's
you know
crazy.
what? Steve, I'll send you the link. He
Send
said
me
it to
that.
our brother George. I mean, to our brother Marco. He said it straight to him. I said, why is he saying that out loud? That's something you say in the gym and no one else is supposed to hear that.
Right.
He said it
That's
out loud.
crazy.
I'm like, was anyone else noticing that? And that's what he said. And that's no reason. But to add to what Bronco said about knowing when you're being set up, I got a brief story about that. I was sparring in the gym years ago, and I thought I was having my way. I thought I was having my way. And I remember the trainer just telling me which direction to move. And he said, he told me he was doing something, but he wanted me to do something with my arm. I wasn't listening because I thought I was having my way.
Right.
And this dude hit me with a goddamn body shot. And the gym got blurry, and I ripped the loudest fart known to man. I thought I shit my drawers. And the gym stopped because it was loud. I mean, I farted so loud, it was a crime scene. It overlapped the sound of the speed bags, the heavy bags, people skipping ropes. Everybody just stopped and looked at the ring. I was like, did he shit himself? I was like, time out, bro. Time out. What the hell?
No.
Dude was like, "You all right?" I said, "I don't know, man." And that it was a logic defined because the loud ones ain't supposed to smell that bad. I was like, "Man, what the fuck?" But the coach was like, "Didn't I tell you that he was about to do that?" I said, "Coach, I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. You see, I didn't know for 3 rounds. I didn't know I was being set up for that because I thought I was having my way. You understand? Coaching is different. He said, "You gonna listen to me now or what?" I was like, "Yeah. Okay, yeah. Now I'm listening. Now I'm listening." You gotta know when you're being set up. I didn't know. Boom! I was like, boom! I was like, oh. Everyone was like, damn. You're right.
That's
ooh. Man, that was a bad day for me.
Oh yeah.
That was a bad day. Man, that was a bad day.
That's crazy.
But yo, we're gonna get out of here, Bronco, man. We definitely gonna have you back, good brother, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Great time. Sorry I got on late. I couldn't figure out the dang link, but I figured it out. So
that's all right. That's all right. So I guess the next time we do this, it might be after the Haney and Ryan fight, if you're gonna call it a fight. You know, Devin's gonna beat his ass.
I think
you
so.
know, but Steve, you already know what time it is, Steve. And as far as promoting, you know we got you.
Appreciate it, man. If anybody know anybody that is willing to sponsor a young up and coming future world champ, hit me up. Let me know.
No doubt, man.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Yo, I appreciate you guys, man. No doubt.
Hey.
And yeah, man, that's it, man. That's it, guys. You already know what time it is, man. And salute to my brother Trick Noty. You know what I mean? He fell off. He fell off the goddamn room.
He said he had to go because it's got to get ready for work.
Oh, you gotta get ready for work, man. Salute to Trick Noty. Yeah, I had his Cash App pinned, and I had his Cash App scrolling at the bottom. Whenever you see a panel on here, any of the guests, he does all of that. He does all of that, man. He does all of that, man. So y'all show that brother some love. I'm sorry, Marcus. I meant to ask him that question, but we be cooking, man. I had that. I'm sorry, Marcus. That's my bad, brother. But great show, man. And Stormy, what we got tomorrow?
For tomorrow with our Nerd Show, we have sports on TV, favorite events and shows.
Ooh, yeah. That's dope. Do not miss Nerds on Culture tomorrow. And pep talk after that, you know how we do. And I'll be talking boxing tomorrow morning. A lot of movement this week. You know, BS over boxing, and I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I don't know anything.
Hey, this was an outstanding show, brother.
It was.
Did a great one tonight. It did a great one tonight. It was an outstanding show. And great participation by your guests.
Absolutely, man. And salute to Anthony Durrell. If he has any social media, you make sure you go follow him. You know what I mean? Him and his brother Andre. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think the Queens are on right now. The Queens of the Ring on right now, right? It should be on.
No, they canceled for tonight. They said that they will be back Friday because they had something came up.
Oh, okay, no doubt. Well, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe. And we're gonna support the brother USS Cunningham and his son. You know what I'm saying? He's going through some bullshit with promoters right now. So it's a different world. So let's pump up his son so he can get a goddamn Gatorade deal. Like Ryan did. I already know what time it is, man. So salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda, Cash App, the Super Chat. Much love to everybody, man. And we'll see y'all during the week. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.